is the 14th episode of the Clay and Woodrow Show. Checking in. First of all, let me check on Woodrow. Let me see how he's doing this morning.
He's a little cold.
He's tight. It is cold. You can tell from my wardrobe. I'm in Eskimo mode. So I've actually been doing a little manual labor this morning. And for the record, that's a rare occurrence. So I will say I was unloading hay, and the guy that brought the hay, I like any man, I was watching that he was unloading hay without gloves, and I said, well, then I'm going to unload hay without gloves. I did that once, and I went into these little baby behind hands that I have that are just. I went and got me some gloves because he was a lot tougher than I was because it was bitter cold outside. And so when I say unloading hay, we had 50 bales, and I probably I was busy doing other things, as you can well imagine.
Going to get gloves.
And the well guy was there trying to fix my well. So I'd have to go check on him to make sure everything. So
Sure.
Out of that 50, I might have got 5 or 6 unloaded, to help this guy.
That's a good day's work for you.
Yeah, but it was cold. And it was so I'm still trying to warm up. So that's my weather report for you today on the 20th day. Is it 20th, 21st? 21st day of January. That's my weather report for you. It's bitterly cold outside, and I'm glad I'm not living in Ohio, Michigan, those kind of areas. So just a couple of things. We want to always thank our sponsor, and by sponsor, these are people that in their right mind would never sponsor our show, but we still select them to be our sponsors because without doing that, we would never legitimately have sponsors. Because we've been to many type of tutorials and things on YouTube to try to help us produce a better show, and they keep saying that you have to have quality content in order to get sponsors.
That's right.
And as long as that is the equation, we're probably never going to have sponsors. So we make up sponsors and then pretend that they're sponsors, that they're willingly doing this. And so
to make it seem like we've got better content.
Yeah, because we're trying to sell something that just may not exist. So our sponsor today is here. Here.
It moves around.
I never get this right. Our sponsor's here.
That's right.
Am I right on it? Am I looking good?
You're right behind it.
Okay, right here. And so First Baptist Church of Blackshear is our sponsor, which I can promise you they do not endorse. Those are my good friends over there. The only reason I do want to mention them is that last night they hosted. So I'm thanking them. I'm announcing an event that First Baptist has already had. So you can tell that's how on top of things we are. So I'm inviting you to an event that happened last night. But really what I'm just saying is it was phenomenal. So they had a venison supper, and a guest speaker came in.
Oh, wow.
Lee McBride. He came in. And but the venison was, everybody, deer is so chewy sometimes. This deer meat was not. Like, it melted in your mouth. So this is kind of spearheaded. Just thank Paul and Alvin and Trey. You got to be careful in church world. When you start thanking people, that's a dangerous road because you're going to miss somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm here to tell you, I learned a lot from Trey. Taught me a lot. Trey Walker last night about getting this tender. And man, they sent me home with a family reunion size to-go box of the venison. I woke Banner up last night to say, man, you got to try some of this. It was that good. So to that end, I want to thank First Baptist Church for the event that they had last night. Certainly, and I'm just guessing, but 15 different, and I'm sure you're appreciative of the invitation that I gave you.
Yeah, I really am.
Sorry, I forgot about that. But probably 15 different churches, several different denominations, all there, true fellowship. Neat evening. So I thank the guys at First Baptist Church for that event last night. Just welcome once again to the, and by the way, it's no longer the Omar Oliver Studios. I specifically reached out to Omar, telling him just like, listen, man, you got to give us some love or something. Crickets.
Nothing.
Crickets. So last week, reached out to him specifically. This is a man who will call me during the football season, Georgia football season, 15 times a day to give me minutia. And I'm just trying to get one little shout out from him. And he's getting, so as of next week, that's my deadline. As of next week, we've got a new, and I had to give that some thought because we took it very seriously, the naming of this studio of Omar Oliver, but he won't give us the time of day. So we will go we will reach out and we'll pick another name. But my patience has run out with old brother Omar. He's a good cat, but he's got to check in with us. He's got to show us some love.
Well, I would say let's let all of our many viewers in on this, and just let them put it in the comments if you got a suggestion.
Now, I will say, as much as we pick on ourselves about our viewership, our last week's episode focusing on 2 liters and corn on the cob was our highest view. So our viewership does gradually grow each week, and we hit a crescendo last week with our stories of corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob was huge.
That was a big one for us. It really definitely was. So kind of some other feedback to give you. We are here at the Trellis Carpenter building. Now, Mr. Trellis Carpenter himself does check in with us all the time. That's Chuck Carpenter, but his first name, like his legal given first name, is Trellis. And so we chucking in with Chuck, but checking in with Chuck, we've got to keep the name of the building, the Trellis Carpenter building. And then, of course, we're on the 17th floor. Now, with that being said, I had a guy from out of town that sent me a message that I'm sorry, I'm learning to cough off mic. Momentary pause. Had a buddy of mine, in all sincerity, sent me over a message saying, you know, it shocks me even to know that Waycross has a building with 17 floors. I don't know that they quite understand that there could be a license within our production, you know, to take, what do they call that? Some, when the movies take some liberal license to do some creative license. Thank you very much. And so I just more or less had to reach out to him and said, Numbskull, Waycross doesn't have any buildings with 17 floors.
You know, and there's a lot of, if they knew us really well, they'd know there's a lot of creative license.
Oh yeah. 85% of the programming is creative license. So that checking in with us, and you can hear a voice certainly off your screen there is producer Don Adams. If you need to get a hold of our producer, you can reach Don Adams at gogogadget@yahoo.com. Speaking of creative license. So just getting into the news, getting into a little bit of sports. So now this is a period of time when my sports life, I was just going deep depression because college football has ended. No one on this planet with a brain cares anything about the NFL. So I could care less about the NFL. I might have already just offended you. You might be an NFL fan.
No, what about the commercials during the Super Bowl?
You can see them on YouTube the very next day.
That's true.
So NFL is just I care nothing about it whatsoever. But pitchers and catchers don't even report until sometime until February. So this is just a dead 60 days where sports is horrible. And if you even try to mention to me that I need to get some nourishment from the NBA, I will defriend you.
Oh, yeah.
The NBA is just unwatchable. So this is a sad kind of period of time for me in my sports life. So I will say the Braves still have to find a solution for third base. And then after that, we're pretty close. We're ready to go. So I'm excited about the Braves season ahead. And then most importantly, because, you know, we have so many Clemson followers and they appreciate my insight on Clemson. The Clemson, I believe, opens up with, it might be the Akron Zips. I think that's who they open up the year with. And I could be wrong because my lands, I'd hate to be unfair.
Is that a college team?
Loosely. And I could be wrong about that. I think it's the Akron Zips who they open up their year with. And so all of us are just sitting on ready for that Clemson schedule. And I think 2 of their opponents next year have winning records in 2019. So once again, looking forward to that 2020 Clemson season. And but I do always will miss college football. So just other things that we need to think about. Now, this is a little bit offbeat because if anything around here, you and we stick to a script. That's what we're known for.
Strictly.
By the book. But I just want to give a kind of a word of support. I'm excited for a friend of mine, a friend of the show, Mr. Archie Clough. This weekend, if I'm not mistaken, it's either this weekend or next weekend, will be in kind of near the Outer Banks, North Carolina. I can't remember the town, but he will be in a yodeling contest. And so, which is, let's face it, that's unusual for this area. That's a talent I did not even know that he had. I'm sorry, I'm way off. He's going to be in the Ozarks. The contest is near the Ozarks. So he will be in a yodeling contest. Don't even know how those go down. If it's a round robin, I have no idea how yodeling. But anyhow, Archie's a good guy. That's a talent that he has, and I'm just here to say, go get him.
Would that be something that Sean Smoke would be interested in watching?
That's why you are the producer of this show, because Sean Smoke would get in his vehicle and he would go to the Ozarks to say, yeah, I'm not opposed to going to a yodeling contest. And on the way, if there was like a pinball tournament or a ping pong tournament, Sean would stop along the way, and he would have the nerve to invite me on the trip. Whereas I would not let him finish his sentence by saying, under no circumstances will I be going to a yodeling competition. But that does not take away the fact that that's something that Archie enjoys doing.
That's excellent.
And so I just say to Archie, we wish you well. All of Southeast Georgia wishes you well. Yodelay, 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 hey, who. So Archie, congratulations on even making this tournament, and we wish you nothing but the best. Moving on just a little bit further, just looking through some of my notes here as well is, I tell you what we got is, you say that you have a good update for us. We've been doing kind of the news of the wacky, or any kind of updates that our listeners need to hear in order to bring them in to the hard-hitting news, driving news.
Hard-hitting news. This week, I thought we'd do a little bit of house cleaning. We've got an item that just, for the show.
I got you. Something we need to kind of get our arms around, clean up, tidy up a little bit.
We got to get ahead of this.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Now, in fairness, and this is not scripted baloney, I'm not exactly sure as to what this is going to be. You want me to have a natural response to this?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. And sir, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you. So we got an email, and it's
Can I say, and I'm sure that we receive frequent emails, and so as you were looking through the mailbag of emails that came in, this is just one that caught your eye.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
It had a one of those little red exclamations next to it. But anyway, so it's about it's a touchy subject for some people, and and so we obviously hit a nerve with a segment of our audience, at least one person. And I think we've put some distance in between us and them, and it's a stance that we came out on Jimmy Buffett, not being a Jimmy Buffett fan.
So all I'm doing is peeling off a scab for these people that they don't even know they have, because if they're Jimmy Buffett fans, they am I making this worse? They need to look at themselves in the mirror.
You may be.
I may be making it. So let me say this: we have a listener that's just like, listen, don't know if I can keep following you.
Yeah,
if that's my position on Jimmy Buffett.
Their viewership is in jeopardy.
Their viewership is in the balance. So what we like to do around here is just to educate. And all I'm saying is, first of all, you're grown adults, at least most of you, that are still listening by this point. And once again, God bless Archie Clough and him and that yodeling competition. I want to say that one more time. But here's the thing is, we are grown people, and I don't want to go to a concert. There's things in a concert that I'm not going to tolerate. And one is, as an adult, if you request me to do pre-choreographed dance moves to your song as a grown man, see, the Wiggles do that. And children do that, but grown people don't do this. And there's no part of a concert that I want to do this, fins to the left, and I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but nor fins to the right.
No.
None of that compels me whatsoever to go to a concert. And then he's also a talker singer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the midst of his song, he's like playing along, and all of a sudden he feels like to say, well, I don't know about you, audience, and I don't know what you're having to drink tonight, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Man, I don't need you to talk to me.
No.
Okay?
Please don't talk.
No, this is not public broadcasting. I need you to get up there and sing your song, and don't require me to do dance moves to your songs. And then you say, well, Clay, but he's talking about some really hard-hitting stuff. No, he's not. Here's what he's talking about: cheeseburgers, okay, fins to the left, fins to the right. All of his songs, it is wiggles for adults.
Flip-flops.
Thank you.
Lots of flip-flops.
Yeah. Pop top, all this kind of stuff. It is just mind-numbing music. Now, when I take a position like this, it takes courage, because I know a lot of people like Jimmy Buffett, but I'm here to tell you it's nauseating. So now, I feel like we brought that viewer back in.
I don't see how they couldn't be.
With all my tack and charm, I think they're back in. Now, if this is what we need, do we need to set people straight about other things that I think? I mean, I got a list of these things.
So one that came to my mind, whenever you were dealing with this hard hitting issue, was people that participators.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm against participation. I don't want to participate, but I also don't want anybody else to participate.
So you're saying you paid a ticket for you not to have to do work. You're hoping that Jimmy Buffett has to do the work without you doing dance moves.
Or anybody else in the audience.
I love it.
I just come here to see the audience.
That's right.
Let's see the main performer. And I'm sure there's some participators out there that are watching right now that are going to take issue with that.
I understand. Truth sometimes
hurts.
Truth hurts. Thank you. You stole my horse. But listen, at the end of the day, this is what I'm getting at. If there's other unpopular things that I have that I need to share, are we too soon? We're too early in the genesis of this show for me just to share my soul with people about other things that they believe and their opinions they have, and they're just wrong.
I think it's good for them to know where we stand, but also they need to know where they stand.
That's right, and sometimes they're just wrong. Let me give you some other examples, Mr. Producer. I don't mind straightening you out. Star Wars is ridiculous. Episode we start at 3, go back at 2, go back at 1, and then Star Wars is unwatchable. That's unpopular with you, but Mr. Producer, that I need your services. I don't want you to leave over that, but over a period of time, use the Force, young man. Star Wars is not something that adults should be following. All right. See, that hurt a little. It stung.
It does.
It stung.
But I'm with you. Take it to the point of a religion, which some people have.
I got
you.
That's
way
a little
too
bit,
far.
a little bit too. All right. Other things I can upset people about. These folks that keep yammering on about Pete Rose needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose's own teammates don't want him in the Hall of Fame. So, you're like, well, Clay, what's your problem with Pete Rose? Well, he cheated in baseball. They're like, well, a lot of people did, and they're going, well, no, he cheated in baseball, and then when they came back and asked him, says, listen, would you like to clear the air and this all go away? We might could move forward with you. He lied about it again. So not only did he cheat about it, he lied about it repeatedly, and then when they said, well, listen, you're not coming into the Hall of Fame, then he said, I'd like to come clean. All right, so he didn't just cheat. He cheated, and then he lied about cheating, and then he lied about lying about cheating. And so then you say, well, Clay, that's just too tough of a stance on old poor Pete Rose. Well, I just go listen to what Johnny Bench says. I respect Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench, do you want Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? He goes, nope, nor does anybody else sitting up there. So there's your answer, sports fans. You want to get on another one?
Let's have another one.
Chipper Jones, mildly overrated. He talks out of one side of us. Listen, Chipper Jones as a third baseman, I'm okay with, but get him out of that booth with him talking out of one side of his mouth the whole time.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. Don't need. And listen, was Chipper Jones good? According to Chipper Jones, he was. Listen, if you don't believe Chipper Jones is good, just ask him. He does not mind telling you how good he was out of this side of his mouth the whole time. He's gonna tell you he was really good. So Chipper Jones,
that was a spot on impression.
It's actually a horrible impression.
I thought it was,
but he does talk out of one side of his mouth, and that's a bit irritating. And I could take that if he had any humility whatsoever. But so now, I'm not saying that he was not one of the best switch hitters in baseball, great third base, all this kind of stuff. But listen, we've all made some missteps in our life, but sometimes those missteps humble us. He's made missteps in his life that are very public. I don't know that there's the but who knows? Okay, who knows?
At least publicly.
But
it
as
does seem to be.
a Georgia boy, everybody's supposed to love Chipper Jones. I'm not saying he's a bad dude or anything like that. I'm just saying he's not my top 20 of favorite Braves, not my top 50 of favorite Braves. Don't even get me started on the designated hitter. That's just ridiculous. The whole thing at daylight saving times. The fact that I get to go home and it's pitch black at 4:45, ridiculous. Now I think South Carolina just changed that, so they're going year-round daylight savings time. In other words, that they're never going home at 4:45 and it's pitch black. So I think that's a smart thing.
I think Florida did that too, but there's still some question about
as
that.
well.
But
then,
yeah, I'm with you. Daylight savings times, come on.
And then hard-hitting kind of things. Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
What's your take on Olive Garden? Be honest.
It was better back in the day. It's waning.
They're heating up Mrs. Paul's little microwave dishes in the back of that Olive Garden. I don't know, back in the day or whatever.
Well, it was the thing back 20 years ago.
Unedible Olive Garden. Just
and you always felt that way.
Oh yeah, and of course, where does my family want to eat something? Olive Garden. And I think it's mainly because they know old Pops doesn't like it, so let's get him riled up about Olive Garden. Now, I would never pick a local company that's owned locally, but Olive Garden's a big national, but unedible. I mean, it's just horrible. So what I'm trying to do is really work on our demographic as we're trying to get the show to grow. I want to really irritate a bunch of people that love Olive Garden. So I might need to be thinking this. And Chipper Jones, I mean, my gracious, people just love the guy. And maybe I'm, excuse me, maybe I'm off on Chipper. I don't know. The man had a pulled oblique 50% of the time anyhow. He wasn't out there. So my brother, if I bring, my it's not a dislike, but just saying he's not one of my favorite Braves. He's not in my top 50. My brother just get up and leave the room. I mean, he thinks I'm communist when I say something like that. He just, carries on and all this kind of stuff. Unpopular things that you have that you just need to get off your chest right now. Can you think of any?
No, not besides the participation. Yeah. Audience participation is just highly overrated.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
I'm not big on that.
Please don't do it. Please stop doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's no doubts about that. Well, you're kind of looking through my notes. That wraps it up for me. But Mr. Producer, I would ask of you anything that you might want to put on the table on this 14th episode.
I do. Matter of fact, while we're doing some housekeeping items, there are some rumors floating about.
I love this.
Echoes.
I like to know about a good rumor.
Well, and it's about you.
I don't necessarily like to know about those rumors.
And it has to do with
probably not true.
A bull riding competition.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay.
But there could be.
So there might be something to it.
There might be an announcement coming soon.
Okay.
There's a bull Nanza that I think happens in April.
In April. I got you.
Yeah. Can't confirm or deny, but I can tell you this. I've been shopping for oversized belt buckles. I mean, I'll tell you that. That doesn't mean I'm participating. But I would like a belt buckle as large as this coconut head of mine. I want a belt buckle that big. If something like that were to transpire.
Oh yeah, you would have to have that for sure.
Yeah. 8 seconds. That's ridiculous. I mean, put a 12 count up there for me. I'm not messing around. 8 seconds. I can do anything for 8 seconds, but 12 seconds. That's what. So I think they're changing mine to 12 seconds to kind of make it fair to if I were to do something like this.
They would have to.
They would have to, just to make it fair for these other folks that are. And then the way that it's been explained to me, hypothetically and potentially, if I were to do something like this, is they kind of give you an old retired bull. I don't need a retired bull. Bring it on.
Get one in his prime.
Bring it on. I mean, the fact that in the morning I struggle to tie my shoes in the morning should not give these people any indication that I need a kind of a laid back, gentle bull, whatsoever. Because my things do loosen up by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I sometimes then can't tie my shoes. So I think I'll be okay.
Well, that's good if you do If you are involved in something like that, you just pull you pull those shoes on,
Oh yeah.
Just pull
I'll
them.
have some.
and that's probably why they do
Yeah.
that, because they can't reach down to tie their shoes either.
Listen, I will have $400 worth of outfit if I were to do this, invested in this 2.2 seconds of charitable riding of said bull. But son, I'm going to look the part. You don't worry about that. I'm gonna look golden out there. It's like, Mama, is that a 400-pound man out there riding that bull? Yes, sir, it is. It sure is.
I'll say the man's not struggling, the bull's struggling.
That's yeah. The bull's begging for me to get off his back. Yeah.
So we can neither confirm nor deny.
Can't
so
confirm.
we can't put the rumors to bed right now. But you know,
because Danny Varnador has to examine the qualifications of many potential what they refer to as local celebrities, and you know, I might need to reach out just from you know what my luck is going to be this. Danny Varnador is going to be the world's biggest Jimmy Buffett fan. That's how this is going to work.
Yeah.
And then there goes my resume.
Karma.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be my problem right there. So anything else from you, Professor?
That's all I got.
Okay. So in summary, I potentially could be shopping for large belt buckles. Of course, my belt size is 32. And so it could be that's summary number one. Number two, if you are a Jimmy Buffett fan, keep that to yourself. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Number three, had some great venison last night. And then number four, and most importantly, I know we normally do five, but I'm just running out of things to say. Number four, Archie Clough, God bless you. We are pulling for you, man. You yodel your little heart away, and we are pulling for you in Southeast Georgia. All right, everybody have a fantastic week, and we will check in with you later. Take care.